What's going on, everyone? It's Adam. Different type of video, vlog cameras out, and I was just in the mood for kind of like a venting type video. And if you guys can relate to this, comment down below your experiences. But I just want to tell you my story and my advice towards kind of finding what you want to do in life, finding your career, finding your passions, finding that like major in college. Because I know everyone's going back to school now, and people start to get worried, like especially towards the end, like shoot, I'm gonna graduate soon, or maybe you're in the middle of college and you're worried that you have to declare a major and you don't know what direction you wanna go. I'm gonna give you guys my story about how I went from someone who had no idea what I wanted to do into instantly finding out, okay, this is my passion, I love what I do, this is what I wanna get into, and as someone who's very happy in pursuing what they wanna pursue. So it started off in high school. And in high school, I liked history for some weird reason. I was super intrigued by Roman, Greek, just like ancient Rome, ancient civilization type history. And it was just kind of my thing, writing papers. And I was just very passionate about that kind of stuff, and it really intrigued me. And I mean, obviously I was young, and I quickly realized like, okay, there's not a lot of opportunities to come from this. Like I could be a teacher. I like lecturing, I like explaining things to people. Like that aspect of it was fine. But it quickly wore old for me. And also in high school, I noticed what I wasn't very good at. And what I wasn't very good at was physics, bio, chemistry, like the sciences. For some reason, it just didn't stick with me. And it was something that I wanted to avoid at all costs. So during high school, I knew that, okay, I have an interest for history. I think it's cool. But I wanted to avoid science at all costs. So I go to college and I'm into business. I want to do business. And my initial feeling was I want to do something in finance, because finance covers a lot of territory. Like he kind of jumped to a lot of places, because if you know the fundamentals of like wealth management, amortized loans, and just like paying back interest, like all these things for finance, like fundamentals. So that's where I wanted to start. And I remember when I was taking these core classes, these basic classes, when it was time to declare major, I said it was finance, but I got put into economics. And now at the time I was like, okay, I'm just going to go right back to the office and say, hey, you got my major wrong, I want to be in finance. But something told me to stay in economics. So I gave economics a chance. I took micro and macro, which are two classes that even though if I wasn't an economics major, I still would have to take. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give economics a chance before I completely shut this door. Maybe I was put into this for a reason. And I didn't really like economics, but I was good at it. Like it just stuck with me. I didn't really have to think about it as long as I had to for like physics and bio and all this stuff in high school. I was scratching my head, I had no idea. For economics, it just stuck with me. And during economics, I learned all these softwares like Stata, R&R Studio. I got really good with Excel. It was a lot of analytics, a lot of data. And I quickly realized like, wait a minute, it's not like my favorite thing to do, but I was really good at just like being perceptive and finding the numbers and key findings, forming supported recommendations, kind of telling the story. Because I remember I had all these projects where we were recommending like actions for a certain company, and we would be like, okay, we think you should do this, but the hardest part is finding the data that supports that and translate to that solution, translate to that recommendation. So I would just find myself being that person that would be like, okay, see this trend, positive correlation, this is a good move, here's why. I was like the analytics type, reasoning type person. And I just knew, okay, this is something, although I don't necessarily love it, this is something I'm good at, I'm gonna keep a tab open for this. Now, in terms of advice, now number one, you obviously wanna keep in mind stuff that you like doing. If you have a passion for something, you like a subject, that's definitely something you can consider. And number two, you wanna keep in mind things that you're good at. Even though you might not like it at first, you might not like it in general, still keep that tab open, because there might be different variations or kind of like branches from that source of something that you're good at that you may like, even though you don't like it in a general bird's eye perspective. So those are two very important tips. And number three, if you find yourself in a club or like in an internship or a class that you don't really know why, or like it just happened and kind of fell this way, give it a chance. I believe that like a lot of things happen for a reason, like me being put in economics. Give that a chance and kind of evaluate it and experience it all the way through, so that you know for certain, okay, this is for me or this is not for me. So those are kind of the three things to help you feel out what you want to do. Now, once you kind of put the puzzle pieces together, at least for me, I knew I kind of like data analytics. And my first internship, I was kind of the data guy, and I absolutely loved it. And I learned a lot from it. I combined marketing and analytics together. It was like my internship during grad school, and it started to really become fun for me. For me to get to this point, from being someone like literally 2 years ago, someone who had no idea what they wanted to do, this is my best advice I can give you. Now, comment down below if you're in a similar boat, or like we're in a similar boat as me, what you're thinking about, if you're weighing your options. I would love to hear your stories on what you're thinking, and I'll give you guys my best advice and best support. So this is kind of just a rant type video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna do more of these because lifeguard season, which is like the main thing on my channel, it's kind of slowing down a little bit. So expect more of these types of videos. I'll see you on the next upload. Thanks so much.